every month, DC and Marvel release their solicitations, which is the schedule of what the comics are going to be coming out 3 months from now. So I'm recording this in late September, and the solicitations for December 2024 were just released. And I thought they were kind of instructive to compare DC and Marvel, because Marvel's came out a couple days earlier, and I was really kind of disappointed. There wasn't that much that was interesting. Whereas with DC, there was more titles that I thought were interesting. So we'll just take a look at both, and you can see if I'm crazy or not. That was Marvel there for a second. But here's the DC Connect, which is their little catalog or magazine. You can get this free, actually, from your local comic shop, usually. But you can also just download the PDF. And it just shows what comics are coming out in December. So here's just a look at them. We have Justice League Unlimited #2, written by Mark Waid and drawn by Dan Mora. This is the new Justice League series that is somewhat anticipated. Make that bigger so you can see the description of the issue. And then you have Batman #157 by Chip Zdarsky. Now the thing with the Justice League, I'm not sure if I'll buy it or not. I'm not that big a fan of Dan Mora's work. I know a lot of people like it, but and I haven't been buying Batman, the regular series. I do buy Detective Comics, but not the regular Batman series, because I wasn't into that whole fail-safe thing that was going on. Again, the Absolute line, and also Marvel's Ultimates line, I don't follow those at all. I have no interest in them. So, now this kind of looks interesting. Superman #21, written by Joshua Williamson, drawn by Dan Mora. I've read a couple issues of Joshua Williamson's Superman, and I did not care for them, really. I mean, I didn't have anything super against them. Mainly it was the art just didn't grab me. But also the story, too, didn't grab me either. And again, you have Absolute Superman. So far, this is sort of a, not very interesting list for someone like me. You do have Wonder Woman with a Detective Chimp showing up, which is kind of funny. But I've not been following Wonder Woman either. It just doesn't really interest me. Then you have Absolute Wonder Woman. And now Tom Taylor and Mikkel Janin, is the artist's name, are taking over Detective Comics for Ram V, who's going to be leaving soon. So Detective Comics 1092. So we're going to be getting to an anniversary issue pretty soon. Not sure if I'll like this run or if I'll keep buying Detective Comics, because I have been enjoying Detective Comics for a couple of years now. But and then you have this New Gods #1 that's coming out. Not really sure about that. I probably won't try it. It's only $3.99 for 32 pages. And this is just a thing there. So now then there's Action Comics. Action Comics is going to be weekly in, I think, October, November, and December. And Mark Waid is going to be writing the lead story, and Mariko Tamaki is going to be writing the Supergirl backup story. Hopefully they'll be able to do all this, because it's like, that's a lot of issues in a short period of time. Four issues a month for 3 months, So that's like 12 issues in three months. And so these are the 4 issues that are coming out in December. And I have to admit, these do look interesting to me. Yeah, I do have a nostalgic feel about Supergirl being the backup story, because that's how what Supergirl was in the 1960s in Action Comics. And then you have an issue of Nightwing. I'm not into Nightwing. This Batman and Robin series, I've not looked at that at all. I know Philip Kennedy Johnson is a good writer, but I've not been into that. Then you have this Challengers of the Unknown #1, Christopher Cantwell. I liked some of his Iron Man run, and also I think he did the United States of Captain America. I did like that miniseries. But this looks kind of uninteresting to me because of the Justice League connection. It looks like the Challengers are going to be working with the Justice League. So it looks like this is, to me, this looks like just a sales gimmick. Oh, we got to put some Justice Leaguers in here and Batman and stuff. Otherwise, people aren't going to buy it. Superman, a Superwoman special, #1. How did Lois Lane get superpowers? Well, this is a special that says it. $5.99 for 48 pages. I don't think I'll be into this as well. So I'm gonna skip like pretty much everything, probably except for I might try the Action Comics. Batgirl #2. Then you have one of these cover magazines, Gotham City's Sirens Uncovered. And it's basically just a cover gallery. They've done this with Power Girl and some other comics. To me, it just looks silly. A comic, you're paying, well, it doesn't say here how much that costs, but you'd be paying however much just for a bunch of covers. You're not getting a story or anything. Covers that have already been reprinted. So it's a little silly. Harley Quinn, I've never liked Harley Quinn. I've bought one Harley Quinn comic. I reviewed it on my YouTube channel, but I mainly got that because of who the artist was. And ditto for Poison Ivy. I don't follow that series. And ditto for Catwoman, although Catwoman would be the series that I would be most likely to try of these female Batman villains. Birds of Prey, the art looks interesting, but I've not bought this series either. Now, this is a interesting series that I might actually pick up. We finally got to the one that I'd be most likely to try. Batman and Robin Year One is a 12-issue miniseries written by Mark Waid and drawn by Chris Samney. Now, it says here written by Mark Waid and Chris Samney, so maybe he did the plotting. I don't know. But Chris Samney has a very classic, like Alex Toth type art style. And so that, it might be a little cartoony looking for some people, but anyways, it looks like a good series to follow. And then you have another mini series here, Batman: The Long Halloween, The Last Halloween #4. I didn't follow the original Long Halloween, so I'm skipping that as well. There is this new series called Batman Dark Patterns #1. Set during the early years of Batman's career, it says, delves into 4 mysterious cases. So I assume maybe it's a 4-issue miniseries. Case #1, and so it looks more of like a realistic Batman thing. I don't know. I might look at it when it comes in, just to see if I want to buy it, but I might not. Then you have the final issue of The Brave and the Bold, #20. This is a anthology series, extra thick, so it costs more. So I've never bought an issue, never read an issue. It has looked kind of tempting because I'm a fan of anthology series, but it looks like mostly just your typical DC superhero stuff. And, I don't know, anthologies, superhero comics do have a reputation of just being sort of unimportant. Nothing significant ever happens, especially these days. They'll just be the little stories. I also never did like the covers. Like Simone Di Mio, I've never liked that artist's work for some reason. It just never appealed to me. So if they had more like cooler covers, I might have tried it. But then again, the price might have kept me away from it. Then there's a Two-Face #1. This is following on the heels of the Penguin having his own miniseries. Now Two-Face looks like he's going to have his own series. I probably will skip that. I probably would have liked the Penguin series if I had followed it. I just never did. World's Finest #34. Now this is a series that written by Mark Waid that a lot of people like. I've never bought or read one of these issues though. This one though looks like it appeals to my sensibilities. The super pets have gone berserk. Metropolis and Gotham City stand on the verge of ruin, and the world's only hope is the Batgirl Olsen team. It's a comedy of terrors as, wait, is that a flying monkey in a red cape? So it looks like Ace the Bat Hound is there, you have Batgirl and so on. So it looks like sort of retro fun. Titans number 18 is with a new creative team. I did read the first 2 issues of this run of Titans and enjoyed them, but I haven't read the rest. Now, this is somewhat interesting. JSA number 2. This is a new series following on the Jeff Johns 12-issue miniseries, which was long delayed. This looks like it's going to come out at a quicker pace, though, with a different creative team. And you have some of the Infinity Inc. characters here. Only $3.99. So, I don't know. I might try it, but on the other hand, I'm not crazy about the artist. I think the artist is the same one who did the Jay Garrick Flash miniseries recently, and I didn't care for the art in that. Black Canary, The Best of the Best, number 2. This looks like a miniseries. It says with the original Black Canary is back. So, Black Lightning number 2 is another new series. This one, I wonder if it's a mistake where it says $4.99 right there, but it says 20 pages. Shouldn't it be like 40 pages for $4.99? Or even just 32 pages for 20 pages for $4.99? Maybe they're just counting the story pages. I don't know. The Flash number 16, Cy Spurrier. I followed this series when Mike Deodato Jr. was doing the artwork inside, but then when he stopped around issue number 6, I dropped it like with issue number 7. Just didn't care for the art after that. I'm probably mostly buying it for the art too. This is interesting, and I probably will actually buy this. Is Metamorpho is getting a new ongoing series. Mentions a Superman movie. I'm not a fan of I haven't even seen most of these DC and Marvel movies. I'm not a superhero movie fan, so this video has nothing to do with my preference for their movies. But so this is much more appealing to me. Steve Lieber drawing the art, and it has a nice traditional art style, it looks like. So this could be a fun series. I am enjoying Power Girl, and I'm enjoying Shazam, which also seem to have that sort of lighthearted approach to them, not too serious. Green Lantern number 18, which a lot of people like. Green Arrow number 19. This has been a surprisingly successful series. Art by Montos, who drew, if I remember correctly, Green Lantern War Journal. And I liked that series. And then you have this Green Lantern, Green Arrow one-shot. Green Lantern, Green Arrow World's Finest Special number 1. 48 pages for $5.99. These are all part of this all-in initiative, which basically I think is just a way to try to telegraph to people or to signal to readers that, oh, you can just jump in, They probably should have just called it Jump In, rather than All In. Power Girl, I'm enjoying this series. It's fun, I think. Same with Shazam. I've been reading it pretty much since after Mark Waid left. I think my first issue, well, no, I did read like issue number 3 or something like that. And then like he left around issue 8 or 9. So I started reading it just before he left. And Josie Campbell's writing I've enjoyed, and also the art. Dan McDade, who did draw the Kneel Before Zod miniseries, is now going to be the regular artist on Shazam. The Question, all along the Watchtower. This is another JLA connected character. The last we saw Renee Montoya, who was the female Question. She was had Commissioner Gordon's job as Commissioner of Gotham City, but now she's like hanging around the Justice League headquarters, I guess. I don't know. I'd wonder if they're going to try to make build up some sort of Rorschach connection, like hunting a mystery, like as if it's some sort of Watchmen thing. All along the Watchtower sorts seems to indicate that. Then you have a Milestone Universe miniseries with those Milestone characters. It's funny that they have at least been doing some stuff with their milestone characters, whereas unlike, Marvel, who will have, they purchased cross-gen, I think, or they were printing cross-gen comics like Ruse, for a little while, and then like 10 years ago, and Ultraverse, they would purchase some of these characters and then they would just never do them anymore. DC Horror Presents #3. This is an anthology series. Doesn't look that appealing to me. I guess they're trying to do like sort of a House of Mystery, but since horror anthologies don't sell at DC apparently, they're using the superhero characters as part of the horror anthology, maybe to make them sell better. I would prefer just to read a straight, non-superhero thing. But and Francesco Francavilla, who's an artist I like, so he has some work in this story. I guess there's 2 stories in this issue. $3.99, not too expensive. Some of the I like how a lot of these are only $3.99, although this one is $4.99, 32 pages. DC Horror Presents Creature Commandos #3. Then you have some facsimile editions. Let's see if I make these a little bigger. Flash Comics #1 from, I think, 1940. This was the first appearance of the Flash and the Hawkman and Johnny Thunder. $6.99 for this 64-page issue. Not sure if I'll buy it or not because I actually already have a couple reprints of this. I think I have the Millennium Edition that came out like 2000, and I also have a Treasury size Famous First Edition for the 1970s of this issue. So some of the ones that have already been reprinted, like Flash Comics #1, All-Star #3, stuff like that, that I already have reprints, I've been kind of passing on. Crisis on Infinite Earths #9, facsimile edition. They've been reprinting all the issues of that, which is great for people who never bought it before. But $5 for an issue. I actually have all the series. In fact, I bought this issue when it came out back in the 1980s, 1985. But I did buy one of them that I was missing, though. So I did buy the facsimile for that. Facsimile of Green Lantern #59, first appearance of Guy Gardner. Now, I recently bought a 1980s Green Lantern comic. I forget what issue number it was, something like 179 or something like that. And it actually reprinted this story already. So $4.99, if it was $3.99, I might get it, but I might pass on that. So that's a little disappointing, the facsimile wise, these are worth reprinting, but nothing I really was like, oh wow, I have to get that. And usually the facsimiles are the things I look forward to seeing the most in the solicitations. And then you have this mini-series, sort of a sequel to one they did last year, Batman Santa Claus, Silent Night Returns. This is issue #2, #3. Some cool covers by Bernard Chang on here. #4, and #5. So you have another weekly series going on here. So if you're buying this and Action Comics, you're going to be spending a lot of money. Then you have some Elseworlds going on. Green Lantern Dark. This series looks unappealing to me. Dark Knights of Steel All Winter. Again, it's not something I'm into. Ditto for DC versus Vampires. I'm not interested in that. I've had my fill of superheroes and vampires. Then Nice House by the Sea, #6, James Tynion. This is sort of one of the few like Vertigo type series that they're publishing right now, that DC is. Then you have Plastic Man No More. This again it's called DC Black Label, which is sort of their edgier. It says age 17 plus, over in the corner down here. Batman Gargoyle of Gotham. Again, none of these look interesting to me, but they probably would appeal to people who used to buy like Vertigo and things like that. And here's another of their holiday specials that they do. DC does a lot of these 80-page giants for $9.99. They're just holiday anthologies. I find them mostly forgettable. I have a few of them that I didn't buy new. I bought them in the dollar bins, later. And there were, like, I have one called Nuclear Winter Special, and there was a good Firestorm story in it, drawn by Jerry Ordway, but the rest of the issue was somewhat forgettable. So I assume it's going to be another forgettable. It says a Dead Man story written by Marv Wolfman. That could be interesting. And I don't know what this is. It looks like a kids type thing. Oh, don't miss the final issue. So Batman and Scooby-Doo Mysteries is ending with issue number 12. I did not realize that till just now, even though I'd looked at these solicitations earlier. Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? Number 131. So DC is still doing like a, cartoon comic for kids, and it's only $2.99. So, I really applaud DC for still publishing something like this that, and they also publish Looney Tunes, although that's mostly reprints. And of course Mad Magazine and things. But and then you have these are the books. Now I'm not going to go into the books. A lot of people want to see what omnibuses and stuff are coming out, but I'm going to skip all that because I'm not a book collector. So let's look at Marvel's preview catalog. And to me, it's a lot less interesting. I'm not a fan of Venom. I have no interest in Venom. This is a cover for an Ultimate Universe. These are sort of like ads. So here you get to the actual solicitations. Time Slide, number 1. It's like a Cable and Bishop thing. Again, I have no interest. Laura Kinney, Wolverine. I liked X-23 when she first came out like 20 years ago, but it's just another way of selling another Wolverine, a variation of Wolverine. Not interesting. All New Venom, number 1. Again, I'm not a Venom fan. I don't like Venom, don't like Carnage, don't like Deadpool. Those are sort of characters that came around after I had already kind of dropped Marvel. I'm like 53 years old, so a lot of this is, unappealing to me. It reminds me of like the early 90s and stuff when I see characters like Venom. Then apparently this is a animated series, Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Looks, I don't know. Infinity Watch, number 1, this Thanos thing. And these are like these new characters who debuted in the annuals recently. Again, they kind of look like uninteresting characters for the most part, like losers, but TVA, a number. This is like Time Variance Authority. Again, if you didn't have like Spider-Gwen in there, it could be perhaps something, but I don't know. Again, it just kind of looks uninteresting to me. Amazing Spider-Man, the 8 Deaths of Spider-Man continues. Again, does not look like why I would read a Spider-Man comic. Now, here is something interesting. You do have a holiday special. Marvel Holiday Tales to Astonish, number 1. And this one is only $5.99 or $6.99, is it? Let's see. Yeah, $5.99 for 40 pages. So, that's a little better. But on the other hand, whoops, I didn't mean to go all the way back. On the other hand, DC was giving me 80 pages, so the DC might be a better deal. Kid Pool and Spider-Boy, number 1, again, no interest. Helverine, it's like, sounds like cross between Ghost Rider and Wolverine. Again, I have no interest in this. Hell Hunters, number 1. Now, Philip Kennedy Johnson writing it. It's a miniseries, but the thing that interests me, it has Bucky in it in World War II. So, but I'd also have to read about Ghost Rider and Wolverine. So it could be good, but it could be kind of uninteresting too. And then you have this Ultimate Universe stuff. Again, I'm not reading that. I have no interest in these alternate versions of these characters. Deadpool Team Up, not a Rob Liefeld fan. West Coast Avengers, number 2, with new member Firestar. Well, it could be interesting, but it's kind of concerning that they have like Ultron as a member. It just seems kind of silly. Sabretooth miniseries, it looks like. Again, not a Sabretooth fan. Storm, guest starring the Uncanny X-Men. Again, I'm not an X-Men fan, so you're going to have all this Psylocke stuff. You know, I have thought about maybe getting an issue of X Factor, because I kind of looked at one and I thought, oh, that looks interesting. So you have Mystique, Sentinels #3, another miniseries. I don't really know what that's about. It had a kind of look to it that was like Challenges of the Unknown, but I don't know. Sentinels is the most interesting of these new X-Men titles, and like I said, X-Men X-Force is something that I might end up trying. Uncanny X-Men. This is like the new run of Uncanny X-Men. You know, the reboot, or not reboot, just sort of a refreshing of it. X-Men #9, NYX, Phoenix. Again, like they don't look very interesting to me. Dazzler, on the other hand, Dazzler #4 is the final issue of this 4-issue miniseries. I'm a fan of the old Dazzler comic, but so you know, that might be something when it comes out they'll have to look at. It may have come out already, I don't know, but the first issue anyway. Exceptional X-Men. They're, like I said, X-Force, mainly because the art looked pretty good, but I don't know. Wolverine fighting the Constrictor, which seemed kind of odd because he's like an old-time foe. Wolverine seems like he would be much more violent. Weapon Extraction. This is just a reprint of those little, 3-page, or whatever it was, 5-page Deadpool Wolverine team up that was running through Marvel Comics recently. Wolverine Revenge #5. Again, more mayhem of killing and so on. Werewolf by Night, Red Band edition, so it's supposed to be more violent, bloodier. More blood, Moon Knight, Fist of Nashu. The Avengers. Now finally get into some traditional characters, but again, you have more X-Men stuff going on. Fantastic Four #27, kind of cool cover. Facsimile edition of a 1980s Amazing Spider-Man. I had already let my subscription lapse like a year after this issue, originally came out, so I don't really have an interest in it. Secret Wars #12, the final issue. I think they say 32 pages, $4.99, but I think #12 was actually a double-sized issue. But again, I don't have any interest in it. I used to have the original issue and sold it later. I already actually have the original of Captain America #117, but this is a new facsimile edition. They had released a facsimile edition before. It was $4.99. So if you missed that one, then here's your chance. The reason they're doing this, I think, is because Sam Wilson is getting a new Captain America series, Sam Wilson, Captain America, in January 2025. Spider-Gwen, Miles Morales. How much can we milk the Spider-Man property? Avengers Assemble #4 of 5. They've been releasing a lot of these Avengers miniseries for some reason. Avengers, All Out Avengers, and all these things. Spider-Boy actually looks like an interesting series, kind of cute series. Comparable to like those DC series that I mentioned, like Shazam and Power Girl and stuff. I mean, it looked like it just kind of fun. Spirits of Vengeance, more Ghost Rider. Blood Hunters #5, more vampire type stuff. Blade, more bloody. The Red Band stuff. This is a pet pool party #1, like sort of animal themed Deadpool comic. More Deadpool. A kid, Spidey and His Amazing Friends. Now here's a thing where they're trying to do some kid stuff, kid friendly stuff, but I don't know, it doesn't hold any interest for me. Scarlet Witch #1, or #7 rather. I've not really had any interest in this series. Finally, Captain America #16. J. Michael Straczynski and Jesus Sayas. I am enjoying this series. I should be enjoying it more than I am, but I do recommend it. And you have a new Iron Man series, Iron Man #3. And then this Conquest 2099 miniseries. Doesn't look too interesting to me because I'm not into those alternate realities. The Incredible Hulk, nice cover, Werewolf by Night, but Philip Kennedy Johnson. But this the Hulk just lately, the way they draw him just turns me off. Is sort of grotesque looking. Marvel Zombie is more grotesque. I am enjoying Namor. This is number 5 of 8, so that's something that I will be getting. Daredevil, more bloody stuff. Alligator Loki, this is sort of a kid's thing, but so it's, I guess, collecting the internet Marvel Infinity comic, it says. Immortal Thor, I haven't been following that. Then you have a whole bunch of licensed stuff. So instead of having like a black label where they're doing, more adult stuff, Marvel's version is just having a bunch of licensed Star Wars, comics. So if you're a fan of Star Wars, Marvel's got you set up here. But and then we get to the books. So that's pretty much it. I'll have links to these PDF files in the description below. But like I said, I enjoyed the DC previews more than the Marvel previews. Maybe that's just me, but so right now I prefer DC to Marvel, at least when it comes to comic books. So what do you think? Do you think the DC ones looked more interesting, or did you think the Marvel ones looked more interesting? I guess it comes down to what characters you like. If you like Venom and Ghost Rider and Wolverine and those type of characters, then you're going to like Marvel more. But if you like sort of the more classic type characters, then the DC stuff might look better to you. Anyways, that's what's coming out in December. Thanks for watching.